At Optavia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optavia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join Optavia, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optavia. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent Optavia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optavia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optavia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optavia coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optavia coaches operating in the US, please see the Optavia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optavia coaches operating in the US under the US Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in Health, the Optavia team.
My name is Dee Korchan, and I want to welcome you to our Wednesday night call, Inspiring Stories of Transformation. My name is Dee, and this is a picture of myself and my husband, a couple of pictures of us. And before we dive into the call, I thought I would just take a minute and just tell you about myself, tell you who I am, how I got here, why I'm so passionate about what I get to do as an Optavia coach. So you see a couple of different pictures of us. My husband and I, we love to work out. It's an activity that we get to do and we feel great doing together. That picture over the right, we love the mountains. And so that's just a picture of us over there actually doing some dreaming and some talking about our future. And I found Optavia almost 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years in April. And I was introduced to Optavia by a friend of mine. Actually approached for the business side of this. I was at a point of transition in my life, and I was actually looking for something. I had worked in the past. I had worked in the corporate world. I was, successful by corporate terms. I worked in the insurance industry. But there came a time when we were raising our boys that Larry and I decided that it made sense for me to be home with them for a while. So I spent several years home with them, a decision I'm very, very proud of. And during that time, I have a passion for fitness. So I was a fitness instructor. But as one went off to college and the other one was in high school, I started to think about my future. And what was it going to look like? I knew I had a lot to offer to the world. I knew I wanted to find something that could be fun, that could be rewarding. But honestly, I didn't know what it was. I knew what I used to do, and I knew that I had been a mom, but I really didn't know what the future was going to look like. So we had talked about a couple of different things, and we knew what was important to us is we knew we wanted me to have something with flexibility because we love to travel. We knew that with being empty nesters, it would give us an opportunity. So we wanted to be able to have a flexible schedule. And I knew I didn't want to go back into the corporate world because it would have limitations for me. So when this opportunity came to explore coaching, it made perfect sense to me. Because of the fact, all the structure, as I'm going to show you tonight, all the structure was provided for me. All I really needed to do was learn the system and be coachable and be teachable. So I said yes. I'm not going to lie, I was full of fear and I said yes. But Larry, he had worked and was working in the financial industry, and he looked at this entire business model and said, this makes perfect sense. It's going to provide so much of what we're looking for in terms of, the flexibility, the income that could be made. But the only way that would happen would be through helping people. And there's such a huge need for this. So with his total support, moved forward. And I really honestly can't believe it's going to be 10 years because of the fact so much has changed. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but I have changed through this. I have grown so much and really feel like I have found my meaning, my purpose, fulfillment, and all of that was through what was provided to me through Optavia and the opportunity to help others and to learn more about myself and to grow into leadership. And so we saw possibility and we saw the fact and we started to dream like, maybe Larry could come and join me with this. Maybe he didn't have to continue to work in that corporate job anymore. He liked it, but he wasn't really fulfilled anymore. So that happened a year and a half ago. He joined me, and we now get the opportunity to do this together. It offers so much flexibility. Like I said, we were there in the mountains. We love to travel. And because this business is so portable, we now have the flexibility that we can do this from anywhere, which is really, really amazing. So that's just a little bit about me, and we're going to spend some time tonight really talking about Optavia, what it is that we have to offer, and why it might be something, why it's important for so many people. The first thing is to just kind of take a minute and pause and look at the state of the world right now. You know, we know that since 1975, the worldwide obesity rate has tripled. There are now more people that are living in countries where people are dying from obesity than people dying from being underweight. There's other areas that we're struggling as well. And that's one of the primary ones is in the area of finances. So about a third of us who are in relationships are reporting that finances are a cause of major stress in our relationship. Oh, almost 70%, 69% of workers say that finances are a source of stress for us. That might be you. And like 72% of people say that even while they're at work earning income, their mind is worried about their finances. And you know, this past year, 2020, it's been like no other. And the statistics are showing that the numbers of individuals that are struggling from depression and anxiety are nearly triple what they were even in early 2019. So I'm excited to show you what it is that we have to offer that that we know helps in all of these areas. But I want you to meet some friends of mine, Gina and Steve Manley. They came to Optavia and have experienced change in all areas that I've mentioned. So Gina and Steve, I would love if you would come on, and we want to hear your story.
Hi, Dee. Thanks so much. We are so honored to share our story with you. So I spent my whole life struggling with my weight and on that diet roller coaster of gaining and losing. And I found that over time, my self-confidence was non-existent, especially in social situations. And if anybody was ever to take my picture, I made sure that I was hiding behind someone with my head on their shoulder. So I looked like a floating head in every single picture. And I always turned to food to relieve stress or to satisfy or pacify an emotion. But it never really did. And in truth, I was miserable. Steve?
I too had been overweight my whole life to the point of being morbidly obese, which, as you can imagine, led to things like heart disease and ultimately the need for a triple bypass surgery at the age of 41. And even after this traumatic event, I allowed my weight to continue to balloon to almost 300 pounds. I've always enjoyed working in the yard, but it became too painful to enjoy. I started thinking and asked myself, how can I be able to, physically help our daughter move into her first apartment was coming up, and for that matter, be able to do any of the normal day-to-day activities of a fulfilling life when I was so uncomfortable.
We were at an all-time low, and we both decided we couldn't live this way anymore. And a dear friend shared Optavia with us, and we thought, well, we'll try another diet. We didn't realize that it was so much more than that. We made the decision to trust the program and really embrace the 4 components. And it's not that we just learned how to eat, but we learned when and why we should, and how to change the way we looked at food. And so between the 2 of us, we lost 135 pounds. But that's not our biggest takeaway. Our biggest takeaway is the total shift in our mindset around food and our habits. We are in control of the food The food no longer controls us. And we no longer look to food to answer an emotion. And that was our game changer. So now Steve can spend all weekend in the yard and not be exhausted. We enjoy activities that we couldn't before because we were carrying all that weight around with us everywhere we went. And in April, we will celebrate our 27th wedding anniversary. And this is the first time since we've known each other that we can actually put our arms around each other and hug. And it's just wonderful. So people started to notice that we had lost weight. And we thought, well, why don't we share this gift with others? So I started coaching alongside a full-time job. Steve was my marketing department and my walking billboard that this program is the real deal. And I found that coaching others made my heart beat in a way like nothing else. And it just was wonderful. And so about 6 months into coaching, my company folded. And I realized that my passion and my purpose came from serving others. So I became a coach full time. And it's so joyous to help people and to celebrate all their wins with them and see them change and feel the joy in themselves. Coaching has afforded me flexibility in my schedule that I can do other things throughout the day. I'm not locked into someone else's schedule. And it's given us great financial opportunities and just opportunities for our family. Optavia has been a true blessing for our family, and we are so grateful for this program. Thank you.
Thanks.
Back to you, Dee.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much, Gina and Steve. Your story, I mean, that got me choked up. One of my favorite, I just want to leave this slide up for a second when you talked about the ability to be able to hug each other. And I just love this, to see it here is just amazing. So, so proud of you and just so excited for what's possible for you in the future. All right, so moving on, let's talk about who we are as Optavia. First and foremost, we are a company that our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. And we have a lot of credibility behind us. We're a company that's committed to providing solutions for optimal well-being. We have over 30,000 independent health coaches and health professionals that are on this mission with us, that are helping. We've impacted 1 million lives. We thank Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson for this vision. He is also a coach, and he is also a New York Times bestselling author. Our parent company is Medifast. Medifast is well known for being a leader in providing safe and effective proven meal replacements for over 30 years. Our programs, our plans, they're proven, they're safe, and we know that because they've been clinically studied by researchers at major teaching universities. We are a US-based company. Our research and development, our manufacturing, our warehousing is all done in the United States. We have strong corporate and field leadership, and we're a New York Stock Exchange company. We are a solid financial-based company. And like I said, 1 million lives have been impacted. So we are really excited about that. So the lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time, is our overall mission. And we achieve that in a number of different ways. Many of us need to start with our physical health first. So I'm going to start first by telling you about the 4 components of our system. The first one is having an independent health coach. An independent health coach is somebody that has a passion and a heart for helping other people And most likely somebody who is walking, has walked, or is walking on their own personal health journey. They come alongside you. They help you set your goals. They help you identify what you want, why you want. And most importantly, they guide you to the system that's going to bring you success. They are 100% your biggest cheerleader. And in my opinion, some of the most amazing humans that you'll ever encounter. The second component of our program is our Habits of Health transformational system. Some of that you can see there. It is the Habits of Health book by the author, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, who I introduced before, a life book that is your guide for walking you through your journey and really helping you identify what it is that's most important to you in your life and to be able to center your life around what's most important. We also have a Habits of Health app with that as well. And then we have these Wednesday night calls, our Wednesday night community call, and then we always follow it with these inspiring stories of transformation. We're all about community, the third part of our program. This call is a great example of it, but it also gets even down to a closer level of you. We've been fans of Facebook and Zoom and social media way before what's been happening in 2020. And so we have private Facebook groups that are just thriving with lots and lots of people that are actively pursuing their health, engaging and interacting and supporting each other. We have when times permit, we have the ability to meet in person sometimes at local or regional events. And then we have our eating plan, our amazing Optavia fuelings. Like I said, we have a proven system of teaching the habit of eating every 2 to 3 hours that can help an individual improve their health, achieve their weight loss goals. And we make it simple and we make it convenient. Because quite honestly, if it's not easy, we're probably not going to do it, right? So we do that with this great system of these fuelings that were developed by Medifast that are just perfectly balanced, portion-controlled nutrition. They're portable, they're convenient. You can take them with you. Simple. So you eat 5 times a day, 5 of the fuelings that we provide, and then 1 meal a day is something that you eat on your own. We call it a lean and grain. A simple protein and vegetable meal. We have so many recipes, various sources that we can give you the recipes for if you want to prepare that at home. And if you want to go out, we have a dining out guide. You know, it doesn't have to be limited when you're making choices and changes in your health. We give you lots of options so that you can be home or be social, whatever you want to do. There's really not any limitation. So we're really about what we call the trilogy of optimal health. So I started to talk about, healthy body. So we know that's important, right? That we want to physically be in a place that we're at our optimal best, right? So that we feel our best, that we're not limited in the activities that we can do, and we minimize our risk for disease. But equally as important is the area of healthy mind, right? So we talked about some of those statistics at the beginning of people that, they're unhappy maybe in their career. They're struggling because of what's going on in the world. All of that, even if you're at a healthy weight, if you're stressed out, we're not really in an place of optimal health. So we're going to provide the tools and the resources to be able to work on that and improve it. And the last is in the area of healthy finances. That we showed the statistics about people that are struggling with money. And so we can offer solutions for that, because we don't want somebody to be living under stress. We want somebody to be in a position that they have the options and the freedom to create and generate the life they want, create the memories that they want, and have the ability to do so. So the way that we can help in these other areas is to consider becoming an independent Optavia coach. And there's a lot of benefits for doing this. Number one, it's going to reinforce your decision to be healthy. So you can be on your own personal journey, but there is something about when you step into that role of linking arms with somebody else, and you don't have to be an expert. It's just, come on, come do this with me. Not only is it going to help them, and it's a way that we can help more people get healthy, but it's going to help you. Because every step of the way, now you're supporting them, your brain is hearing it, the accountability of it, it just reinforces it all, and your success rate goes way up. You get to pay it forward. You get to be the person that introduces this amazing system to somebody else and make a difference for them. It's fun, it's rewarding, and you're compensated. You do well by doing good. And so it's the currency of goodwill. And I just want to note that there's no ceiling on the income, that what you earn here is directly related to your efforts. And there's the potential to leave a legacy, to really feel that you made an impact and you made a difference in other people's lives and the world. So there's a couple of different ways. We have what we call a progressive growth model. Most people enter as an Optavia coach. And an Optavia coach, what they're trained and supported to be able to acquire and support clients. What ends up happening often is that some of those clients, you might be one on this call right now, who decides, you know what, coaching makes sense for me. This is going to be a solution for me in other areas of my life. It's going to help me be more successful on my own journey. So the next step is to move into what's called a business coach. So not only are you supporting, acquiring, and supporting clients, you also get the blessing and the opportunity to acquire and support coaches, to teach them and help them learn how, and show them the systems so that they can learn how to acquire and support clients. And then the next step in the journey for those that choose it is to become a business leader. And what that means is not only do you support individual clients and coaches, but also the ability to lead teams of coaches, and an opportunity that you can start to make significant impact and number of lives impacted. So next up, I want to introduce you to a coach that has experienced benefits in all of those areas: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. So Jesse Pilkenton, will you unmute yourself and share your amazing story with us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dee, for having me on tonight. If you guys catch excitement in my voice, as well as the voices of the rest of my friends on here, it's because it's genuine. I'll go ahead and tell you up front, I never, ever, ever thought I would be in this position. I certainly didn't think I would be a part of a health program, a health community. I sure as heck would never coach for one. But I call Optavia the cynicism obliterator. And I'm honored to just take a few quick moments and tell you why. So my story in finding Optavia was traditional in a sense. I watched one of my wife's closest friends experience dynamic transformation. And I don't mean she was losing weight. She was losing weight, but it was much greater than that. She was walking in breakthrough that I longed for. She was glowing. She was different mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and I knew it. It was all over her. And so I I think a big part for me too was I thought she was pretty normal, and I knew that she put her pant legs on one leg at a time, and it helped me be encouraged and be excited about the potential. So we brought her and her husband over for dinner. And I said yes. And I totally was cynical, entirely cynical about the results that I thought I would have and would experience. I never wanted to be on part of any health program, like I said. But I ended up losing 65 pounds on Optavia's 5-in-1 nutrition plan. But I almost stayed on the sidelines. When I look back, if I'm being honest, I almost just never tried. I almost stayed on what I call the Think About It program, which had delivered pretty steady results for me through my 20s and 30s. And I just learned that there was a better way. I remember thinking 2 to 3 weeks into the 5-in-1, I had a revelation. And again, coming from the background of being cynical about the process, I realized quickly that the program, the material, the community, the values and mission of Optavia are authentic and they're legit. And I really began to catch a vision for what it would look like to pay this forward to friends, to family, and others in my network. So again, if you're listening in and you're not sure about where you are in the journey, or you might even be battling some cynicism or some previous disappointment when you've reached out and tried new things, I just want to release you to dream a little bit. I want to release you to get over previous disappointments, to get over where you think you could be, and maybe even places where you couldn't dream before. I want to say it's okay. I give you permission to learn and to pivot and to grow and make goals and go after dreams that maybe you didn't even think were possible before. That's kind of what me and my wife have stepped into now. Don't get me wrong, losing 65 pounds was amazing, and everything's easier, and my body moves easier, and my 10-month-old son is easier to hold and play with, and my son on the way. We're excited about memories to come, but the mental health and the emotional health upgrades were actually the biggest wins for my family. As an entrepreneur, just having greater mental clarity, greater focus, the mental fog being gone, moving from wanting to nap in the middle of every day about 2 to 4 o'clock to head popping up off the pillow, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. Those were things where the discipline of the 5-in-1 and the victory I was having there were really coming forth in mental and emotional upgrades like I'd never seen before. These were things I was not able to pursue really or have much success with before. But the 5-in-1 is trustworthy. I think Dee nailed it. Optavia is a trustworthy program. And 6 months into coaching, let me share with you why I pay it forward. And it's pretty simple. It's because Optavia gives me the opportunity to usher in hope and reconciliation into people's lives. It gives people a chance to beat their demons, really, to go after their giants. It's incredible. It never ends up being only about the weight. It always ends up being about their life journeys. And my clients are learning to forgive themselves, to get over previous wounds, previous disappointments, the whole 9 yards. And being a part of that process is incredibly purposeful for me. And I just want to challenge you and ask, if you're listening tonight and you haven't really considered what it could look like to be a coach in Optavia, I think it's something that we're all looking for. We long to be people of purposeful impact in our lives, in our communities, and through our families. I think everyone longs to be a part of something that's making a difference in our world. And what we have here is a real gift. You know, me and my wife, we call it a blueprint for breakthrough. It's a trustworthy process that we can give to people and share with people. And these folks don't even realize this gift exists. You know, they might be disappointed and down and depressed about where life has taken them or not taken them. And you have a key to freedom in your hands. And you have an ability to share something that is worth sharing. And I think all my fears in the beginnings of being that guy, you know, in a world where we're just bombarded with things, I realized I'm not that guy. And I have stumbled in, by the grace of the good Lord, into a really healthy and mindful and intentional and authentic organization that's committed to seeing people sustain transformation. And that's why it's so much more, you know, Gina and Steve nailed this. It's so much more than the weight loss. And it's not a diet. It's ushering transformation into people's lives. And will it take hard work and courage? Of course. All good things do. But to learn that you can do hard things and to grasp self-control that was never previously attainable, the growth is spilling into these areas of my life and spilling into the areas now of my clients' life. And I'm getting to encourage and speak life into their journeys and where they desire upgrades. And I promise you, you really don't need to be a rock star. You just need to show up as who you were made to be. You need to be an authentic expression of yourself. And that, along with a trustworthy blueprint here that we have from Optavia, will change people's lives. I think we all long to be purposeful and to impact our world. And we have a dynamic key in our hands and an ability to pay it forward to those around us, and even those that we don't know yet, but are coming in our path. And so if you're experiencing good fruit here, if you're experiencing upgrades, breakthrough, victory, self-control, self-discipline, and wins, why not pay it forward? Why not share it with your world? I couldn't encourage you to do that more. And the community here will support you in that. I have fantastic coaches and who are now friends. So I could talk about it all night. I'll kick it back to you, Dee. I've been grateful for the opportunity to share for a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Man, the energy and the passion. Thank you. I couldn't have said any of that better than you just did, and that's because it is your story. So let's finish this up, and I want to share about what does it look like? How does it work? If you are thinking that this might be something you want to pursue, just real quick, just know that we are in the relationship business. Just like Jesse said, we are about helping other people create the well-being in their life. You're self-employed, you're an independent contractor with Optavia. You can do this full-time. You can do it part-time. Minimal startup cost, no inventory, no minimum requirements. It's flexible. Like I said before, like Larry and I, we can do this from anywhere. And you're going to get all the training and support that you need. Optavia, they have an extensive, comprehensive Optavia Learning Center that we learn from. You get to learn as you earn, as you're growing through the process, that progression that I described to you. You work with a business coach, a mentorship team. They're here for you and your success, to guide you, to show you the way. It's a simple, duplicatable process that we follow. We employ team coaching. We do it together with you. You do it at your own pace. And we have phenomenal training events when times permit that we can get together in person. We have local and regional and national training events that are events you do not want to miss. So I want to thank you for being a part of this call with us. And I want to personally invite you to join our Optavia mission. You might be interested in the program. You might be interested in taking that next step into coaching. And it's very simple. It only takes a few minutes. What you're going to do is you're going to reach out to the person who invited you, and you're going to have that conversation about what this could look like for you. Again, thank you so much. My name is Dee Korchan. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
At Optavia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optavia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining Optavia. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optavia. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent Optavia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optavia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optavia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optavia coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optavia coaches operating in the US, please see the Optavia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optavia coaches operating in the US under the US Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the Optavia team.